Now, welcome to Honkai. We're starting a bit later than usual, but it cannot be helped. It cannot be helped. You can only deal with the hand I'm dealt. Oh, what I get? Oh. Oh.
私がどんな敵でもほふそういえば、
Oh.
もともとハイペリオンは私の船なのね。さらなる力を手に入れたわ。
Okay. That doesn't change this, does it? Or maybe it does. I don't know. Probably. I don't know if I should get this as this Esha Thunder's weapon. There is no guarantee. I don't think. So, yeah. I'm gonna hold off on wishing. Gotta do those dailies at least. Or activation choice. Let's do tactical training. Yeah, sure. Tactical training cap. Go up stage for 70 plus captains to meet the challenge with teamwork. Areas from training can be used to level to matter. This stage daily. Should get all the rewards. Alright, quick join. What a match. I don't know what this one is, but whatever. Let's just go. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's go, 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 go. Yeah, I'm planning on doing Elysium Realm. Not everlasting yet because well, maybe.
私に任せれば失敗はさせません。準備できましたか?
Don't have to do Realm because Realm is what do you call it?
私のフードが好きなのか? 大掃除の時間です。
No, I'm stuck on here.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just gonna go to the end. I'm gonna make it to the end. Oh, you literally can't stop.
カラスバの向かうままに。景色を見ている暇はありませんよ。
Nothing next
急ぎましょう。
もうすぐ戦場に着きます。
I just happened to be too damn fast.
歩くよりやっぱり飛ぶ方が早いな。
今日の相手は私を失望させないという私一人で十分です。
私のフードが好きなのか。景色を見ている暇はありません。
いや弱い飛べウォーミングアップにすらなりませんね。私は全てを変えます。ないですね。私一人で十分です。
Nothing gonna come?
歩くよりやっぱり飛ぶ方が早いな。
ないですね。殴れるものなら殴ってごらん。弱い。私一人で十分です。飛べ。
歩くよりやっぱり飛ぶ方が早いな。
大掃除の時間です。私は全てを変えます。いつものペースですね。今日の相手は私を
Is that it?
これが私の実力です。
Very nice. They're gonna go? What the hell is this? Okay.
任務開始します。虚実一体。口ほどにもない。さっさと片付けてしまいましょう。慎重に行きましょう。口ほどにもない。
ボキボキの温度を感じ
actually see her there.
たまには徒歩で進むのも悪くないわね。走る？ヨが新たに研究した陣形を試さないの？後ろは任せたわ。
さっさと片付けてしまいましょう。
I've got it.
この力
It's
を
on me.
ずっと大切にします。
Zero damage. Oh well, whatever. I don't even know what the hell happened there. And then you get one of those. What a bear! Oh. What a bear! Oh. What are you doing? There.
昔工芸という若者
I could do the quiz. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do symbol first. Oh, finally. Finally. Alright, I'm ready. Do you get given Potter fellas? Because I didn't get given Potter fellas. I felt ripped. I got ripped. Probably part of the event that I kind of missed out on. Just missed out on. Got some of the currency, but not enough to actually spend it. By the time I realized I even had any, it was already over. Oh, we're on the lift.
そろそろ終わりです。私にやらなければならないことがあります。来年の早くすぐに片付けて。来年の早く
ルで会わなければいいけど。
敵は見逃し吠えなさい栗から
Very nice.
賞金ある？メダルでもいいから。
Holy shit.
「私の力が見たいの」
Oh boy.
Honkai 降臨。美しい景色ね。墓場にちょうどいい。人類よ、お前たちにこの世界はもったいない。
口ほどにもない
なんて美しい。
大人の世界の中に雑魚どもやっ
千にやっちもリストから。
やっ音楽で潤しましょうやっ雑魚ども今裁きの時口ほどにか死の準備はできた
What's even supposed to happen here? I don't even know.
私のしもべとなるのや
ステージの合間に走るの。
や音楽で潤しましょう
Yeah, he's Sakura.
今裁きの
今後こういうのはいらないですね。耐えられない暑さにこのや
Hmm.
艦長の命に従おう
後ろは任せたわ。
この一撃で勝負を決めようぞ。
たまにはお供で進むのも悪くないわよ。
戦いに適した日和じゃ。敵は見えないところにおる。今持ってきた。敵は見えないところにおる。良くなってきたぞ。敵は見えないところにおる。
後ろは任せたわ。
また危ない橋を渡るのか。承知した。今目的地戦いに適した日和じゃ。この力をもう少し早く手にしていれば。
How is this possible? Yeah, well, whatever. How much more do we have to go? Even I don't know. What do I have left?
なんだ
Raven.
個人的な依頼か。
Anytime now. Anytime now. Very good. Should I actually go for 50? Because that's just vanity at this point.
時間は待ってくれないぞ。歩くよりやっぱり飛ぶ方が早いな。 カラスバの向かうままに。やよ戻れ。すぐに楽にしてやる。刺激的なやつをつい背後に気をつけるんだな。私に追いつけるか。カラスバの向かうまま。私の服ついよっ
No, shit. I died. Revive. You can do it, ooh, senpai. Well, they can see its health. Let's try to disable the shielding right here. Ooh, cool. I got leave. There we go. And now I'm gonna sail. It'll all work out. Why does it need 3 players and why can't I leave the room? Why? What about recent? Nah, I can't be bothered. Alright, am I gonna do Elysium Everlasting or Elysium Realm? Let me check. Because the weekly thing is what I'm after. I got another key. Who am I gonna get? Valkyrie Gloria. Let's go ritual email. Had her for a while. Might as well. If I talk to this and do deep sequence, let's do this. Rewards preview. Choose your buffs. Sure. Ranged. I don't really do ranged. Let's do that. Okay. Fire damage. It's just a lot of damage. Oh yeah, sure. And this one. Bodhi. Oh, don't have Bodhi. Ah, shit. Offer special buffs. I suppose, yeah. Might as well. Current story mission first. Why? Why, you son of a bitch? Oh, that means I have to do Elysium Realm. What's the duration on this thing? 65 days. Technically, I have enough time. But it has so much content in there, it's just gonna accumulate over and over. It's chapter 29 to 31. I'm not sure why I can do chapter 29 to 31 so early on. I'm on chapter 11. But you know, whatever. The story before. I don't want to watch the story before until I get up to that. So let's do Elysium Realm, I suppose, unless there's open world. No, there isn't. 18 stars. Sim battle. Sim battle I'll do later. Okay, we're here, and let's start chapter 2, shall we? First we'll talk to Raven. What's she doing here? Is she actually one of the flame chasers?
そういえば最近フードを外す頻度が高くなったわね。
気に入ってくれたか？
Of course I do. Looks cool. Yeah, she kind of looks like a Alakino from Genshin. When I first saw Alakino, I was like, is that Raven? But I guess I haven't really seen Raven up close, so it doesn't really look that much like Raven. I wasn't counting on the, like, you know, the eyes and shit.
二度目は見せないって言ったのに、年下に見えるのが嫌じゃなかったの？
Yeah, autoplay turned off, good dang.
まさか。待って。
いや、別にエリシアの話は気にしていないぞ。
まだ何も言ってないんだけど。
なら言わなくていい。わかったか？
Does she like Elysia?
あの折れた剣、支配の鍵か。どうやって手に入れた？
前にフワからもらった剣のことかしら。フワにもらったんだけど、どうかしたの？
他に支配の鍵を持ってる奴がいるのか。不破メイ、また嘘。
Another lie.
まだあの時のことを気にしてるのね。
なんだ、あの時の俺を理解してるのか。
理解まではいかないけど、あなたが支配の鍵を使って何をしたかは知ってるわ。ずいぶん前にあなたは支配の鍵に接触することを火を追うがに禁じられた。そうよね。
What do you use them for?
お前は死に急いでるのか。なぜそれを俺に聞くんだ。
なんでもない。噂が本当かどうか検証してみただけよ。何せ、100本以上の支配の鍵を壊すのも簡単なことじゃないもの。
Yes, he did go through a lot of them.
残念ながら、その中に俺の本当に壊したい支配の鍵はなかった。
どんな意図があって、そんなことをしたのかしら。
Did on
律
purpose.
者としてあの海で死んだことは、エイマーにとって一番屈辱的な終わり方だった。あいつだけが本気で俺を殺そうとした。だから俺がこの手であいつを殺すのが筋ってもんだろう。神の鍵になるべきじゃない。俺以外、誰もあいつを使う資格はないんだ。
その後に起きたことを考えたら、あなたは。
巡り合わせだ。人生というのはそういうもんだろう。まさかお前のその姿も運命だというのか、律者。それでいいんだ。少なくとも俺が融合戦士になった後、エイマーに最も純粋な結末を与えられた。あいつには似合わないが広大な結末だ。お前の持つその剣が全てを見届けた。俺の長編因子がきっかけで、あいつはあのメイでさえ避けるような恐怖になった。これで一応エイマーに顔向けできるはずだ。そうだろ。
He's Ica. I don't get what the hell they're talking about. I guess I'll find out later on. Better talk to Sue. Actually, I don't think he'll disappear. But I'll still talk to him anyway. About prediction.
やあ、来訪者。
久しぶりっす。あなたはあまりここに来ない気がするわ。
ここに存在する僕は、典型の一瞬の虚像に過ぎない。虚像である以上、ここに姿を現し、君の決断の邪魔をする必要はないだろう。
けど、あなたの仲間はそう思ってないみたいね。一部からは高い攻撃性すら感じたわ。
許してあげてほしい。それが、彼らが人であった証でもあるんだから。我見我習というものは、もともと誰もが看破できるものではない。ここに存在する僕たちもそうだ。だからこそ、人は短い人生の中で、唯一無二の光を放つ。
ええ、理解できるわ。だけど、同意はできない。
それこそが、君のいるべき立場だよ、来訪者。ここにいる時も、現実にいる時も、そうあるべきだ。
現実。私は現実で、本物のケビンとフワに会ったことがある。彼らは今でも、それぞれの道を歩み、この世界に影響を与えている。だけど、スー、生き残った英傑は、彼らだけじゃないはずでしょ。
すまない、来訪者。その質問に対して、僕も正しい答えを出せない。もし全てがうまくいけば、本物のスーは今頃、ケビンに協力し、火を追う側の計画を実行しているはずだ。しかし、君が本当の僕に会っていないというのなら、きっと現実で僕でも予見できないような変化があったのだろう。
あなたの予見の中では、誰が新時代の先行者になったの？
ケビン、エデン、メビウス、アポニア、それから僕自身さ。僕の予見では、僕たちはそれぞれ違う使命を背負い、新時代の大地で奔走している。もちろんその中で、行動が予想できない人も一部いるけどね。
メビウス。
ああ。メビウスに関しては、予見というより、僕の判断かな。彼女の命に対する研究はもう戻れないところまで来ている。死は彼女にとって支配できる選択の一つかもしれない。僕はメビウスが本当の死を迎える未来を予見したことがない。
She
た
can
とえ
never
文明が消えても
die.
彼女の命は消えなかった。多分人知を超えた存在だけが彼女の命を奪えるのかもしれない。
Beings beyond human
もしく
knowledge.
は
As in Hershers?
いや、そんな選択をする彼女はもうメビウスじゃない。
If she decides to take her own life, that won't be Mobius at all. I agree. Kalpus.
なんだ
Let's talk
か
about Kalpus.
ここにいる人はみんなあなたに強く出ることができないように感じるわ。あの1000号も例外じゃなくね。
みんな私のことが好きだからじゃない？当然よね。英傑たちはみんな優しくて可愛い。だから同じように優しくて可愛い私と話が合うの。それに1000号もという言い方は良くないわ。彼に対して何か偏見でも持ってるんじゃないかって誤解されるわよ。
それは失礼したわ。そういう意味で言ったんじゃないの。
ええ、わかってる。メイは私と同じで優しいもの。誰かの悪口を言うような人じゃないわ。
Yeah, I'll do
そ
it
れ
in
に
the
1000
front
号
of
は
the face.
ね、本当はそんなに怖くない。正しい接し方さえ心得れば、彼にも穏やかでおとなしい一面があるって気づくはずよ。
I've yet to see that
穏や
bit.
かでおとなしい。ごめんなさい。そういう言葉と彼を結びつけられないわ。
それはきっとメイはまだ本当の意味で彼の世界に入っていないからだと思う。けど大丈夫。私が前に渡した本を覚えてる？あの1000号の仮面にまつわる100の謎、入門からマスターまで。本に書いてある方法通りに一歩ずつ実践すれば、きっとメイも私みたいな1000号マスターになれると思うわ。
読ませてもらったけど、誰もがあの方法を使えるとは思えないわ。だから、あなたと一緒にいる時に見せる彼の友好的な態度には、他に理由があると思う。
他に理由？そんなものあったかしら。強いて言えばあのことかも。
あのこと？
さくらが彼のことをヒオオーガに連れ帰ってきた時、脅威対象と判断されて指針の書に放り込まれたの。
指針の書？
でもそんなの
Like a jail.
当人からしたらフェアじゃないでしょ。だから私は
She
指
was the
針
one
の
that
書に
released
行
him.
ったの。正直なところ、あそこは暗くて寒いし客人をもてなすような場所じゃないわ。それに1000号のあの活力と情熱はそのまま無駄にするべきじゃないと思った。だから1000号とある決め事をした後、私は彼をあそこから連れ出す方法を考えたの。
決め事？
約束と言った方が正しいかしら。1000号はね、そういうことを大事にするタイプなの。男のこだわりっていうのかな。私も後から知ったんだけど、彼がした約束であれば何があろうとも彼は必ず守る。もちろん彼は相手に同じことを求めるわ。だからねメイ、できないことを1000号と約束しないように気をつけてね。でないと。あんな悲しい1000号なんて誰も見たくないもの。
Broken heart again. What? Well, anyway, it's time to do some remembrance vessels. I have a lot of these. I might just do Buddha's memory because I kind of want his thing. Let's just do 180. What's this? Oh, it's nothing.
やあ、来訪者。
あなたの瞑想の邪魔をしてないといいんだけど。
気にすることはない。僕はただの影。この天地も過去の残存した光景に過ぎない。王子は消え去り、個人も帰ってこない。 存在がないなら邪魔もないだろ
他の人と比べて、あなたは随分と心が広いわね。ここにいる人はみんな、自分がただの記憶体だって知ってるの？
多かれ少なかれ気づいてはいるよ。受け入れるかどうか、話したいかどうかの違いだ。今、君の前にいる僕も、数の一部でしかない。人の心の奥深さを、記憶だけで語りきれはしないだろ。だから、僕たちのことは気にしなくていいんだ。これは君たちの時代。先人の幻影に左右されるべきではない。エリシアやエデンに聞いても同じ答えが返ってくると思うよ。
So he's come to terms with his demise. Honkai infection. Oh. His consciousness sank into endless darkness. The ominous pattern spread throughout every inch of his skin, the rampant infection corroding every cell in his body. It was almost as if his body no longer belonged to him, as if everything that was him was being torn apart. It was endless pain, consuming his entire consciousness. Then, like a comet, a flash of light whizzed by, scattering the darkness. It was a warm and familiar light, bright and burning. Yet strangely it made him want to weep. What a lovely radiance. Sue opened his eyes. The whitewashed hospital walls and all too familiar smell of disinfectant, bringing him swiftly back to reality. He checked his hands in a panic, the purple lines that had spread across them before he fell unconscious were completely gone. It was as if they had never existed. So he was infected with Honkai energy, and he was cured. This cannot be. Honkai infection? There isn't any cure for it. Unless... The one-armed man beside the bed swirled his wine flask, lifting his head up with a small smile. You're recovering quite well, Dr. Sue. As you might have guessed, I've come up with a cure for Honkai infection. Professor? Then why haven't you given it to others? Why watch so many people die? The answer is simple. It's too expensive. Expensive? People's lives are priceless. It costs lives to do it, I assume. The one-armed man's smile vanished. He lowered his head, fingers tapping the flask. Let me tell you how this medication is made. This antibody drug comes from a serum made from the bodies of the infected. Statistically speaking, we need the bodies of around 1,000 Honkai infection patients to produce the serum needed to save one person. One of the people who provided the syrup that cured you is someone very important to you. The man paused and did not continue, but Sue had already guessed the answer. Senior! The man nodded and turned to look outside the window. His voice was hushed now. Chief Physician Fall donated his body to the moths. He persisted for a long time after being infected, and so the antibodies within his body were far greater in number than those of most people. It was thanks to him that we were able to finish this vial of serum. I think he'll continue to watch over you even from the hereafter. The man turned again to look Sue in the eyes, his expression calm but stern. There are no miracles in this world, and magic does not exist. There are only countless people whose lives were taken by Honkai infection, and doctors who have trodden upon their corpses on the path to greatness. Dr. Sue, those precious antibodies flow through your veins now. The dreams of those 1,000 who died, which would never come to fruition, now rest on your shoulders. Do not grieve. Do not sigh. Stand up and fight against Honkai and save thousands, tens of thousands of people. Sue gripped the bed railings until the whites of his knuckles showed. The churning agony in his heart threatened to drown him, but he knew that the man was correct. There was no time for him to waste wallowing in grief. After some time he finally gritted his teeth and raised his head. The man gave him a small smile before extending his sole remaining arm. Your application has been accepted, Dr. Sue. Welcome to the Moths. Who's this one-armed man? I wonder. Ah, so he was a doctor.
やあ、来訪者。
あなたは他の人と違って欲望がないみたい。
執念も希望も欲の一つだよ。心に望むものがなければ、僕はこの古の楽園に存在することもない。
じゃあ、あなたの望みは何なの？
崩壊のない世界。ここの人たちと同じさ。
そう？でもあなたは外の世界を少しも気にしてないみたい。
君がもう教えてくれたからさ。
どういうこと？
ここに答えを求めに来る人がいるということは、先行者の計画はもう失敗に終わったということなんだろう。大丈夫。君の来訪は地上の火種に炎が灯されたことを証明しているのだから。いつかこの時代の人々も歩むべき道を理解するはずだ。
でもあなたたちが導いた方向に進むとは限らないわ。
それも幾千万とある選択の中の一つ。君たちがした選択だ。人類の英知はちゃんと受け継がれていると僕は信じている。君たちが先人より遠くへ行けることを願っているよ。
IT. Observer 27 is ready. When the observation hub is activated, I will release the cognition cage and attempt to enter its dreamscape and locate it. Okay. The observation hub will pull my consciousness back before mimetic pollution can set in. Professor? Sue looked at the one-armed man outside the refining cabin, somewhat troubled. This was his teacher and also the founder of the 5th Science Department and a veteran scientist of this organization. The one-armed man with countless tiles under his belt lowered his head and swirled the wine canteen in his hand, self-derision and sorrow plain on his face. I really am becoming more of a fool the older I get. Can't believe I let Mobius turn my own student into a mantis. And now I'm sending him straight into hell with my own hands. So, if you do come back, I'll treat you to a drink. Professor, I chose this myself. Sue did his best to make a relaxed expression, before waving a hand at his teacher and sending his consciousness diving into the depths. In this dream world, Sue cut through illusions, broke free from bonds, and at last he found it. But when he opened his eyes again, he was greeted by a blood-stained canteen and the frozen ground. An unexpected betrayal and attack had fatally wounded the one-armed man. But this obstinate gentleman still had enough strength at his life's ebbing to reactivate the observation hub. It was thanks to this that Sue had been able to return to the present, and the moths could now locate and capture it. In the present, now free from mimetic pollution, the moths could at last call it by its proper name, the 8th Hersher. But that person who would never see all this. Sue sat paralyzed at the ground, looking at how now cold wine canteen in his hand. He recalled the days and nights he had spent looking for a cure for those afflicted with Honkai infection. He recalled his joy when his teacher invited him to join the moths and research the Honkai infection together. But Sue, at last, realized that this was an incurable disease, for Honkai would never vanish. Honkai, the Hershers, once such foreign terms, now they were the devouring scourge of this era's civilizations. Drinking isn't a particularly healthy habit. A familiar voice rang out, and the canteen was plucked from his hands. Sue raised his head, and he beheld a cold expression that he had never before seen on his old friend's face. You haven't much time to be depressed. They will continue to appear and threaten our civilization. Kevin, Sue, May hopes that you can replace Professor Spears as the head of the 5th Science Department, Spears, and head to Moth headquarters to continue your previous research. I'm going to replace my teacher? If you don't want his sacrifice to be in vain, stand up and continue the fight. Humanity will defeat the Honkai, no matter what the cost might be. So he opened his eyes wide and looked at his friend, whom he had not seen in 5 years. He wanted to ask questions, but he realized that he already knew the answers, and so he said nothing in the end. He simply took up that slightly warped wine canteen before following Kevin outside. So how's the 8th Hersher? And if you utter its name, I guess, you die or something? Kind of like, I don't know, that one thing from that movie / book. Who knows? Give me the leaf.
「趣味消しの中で一つの葉が落ちることは一つの世界が終わることを意味する。枯葉が落ち、消え、無存の海に溶けて無限法要になる。しかしこの記憶だけの世界では意味が違う。すべての景色が過去のものだからこそ、終末へと向かった世界は消滅の瞬間に停止し、記憶の中で始まりも終わりもない時間を繰り返している。僕にとってそれは終わりのない傾聴、瞑想、それと明記を意味する。命の帝国、死、喜びと悲しみを聞いた。世界の誕生、消失、繰り返すことを考えた。僕たちの善行、悪行、そのすべてを記憶した。
Oh, sorry, bro. I just want the leaf. Narrow gate. He could not see anything, say anything, do anything. Was this death? Could something like that, exist for him? Perhaps no one would believe that before this. Only one voice pierced this dead silence, one he did not wish to hear. Calpus, can you hear me? It's me, Sue. Due to the 11th Hersher's influence, no reconnaissance drones can reach any of you, so I had no choice but to link up with your consciousness without prior permission. It seems like the situation is unbelievably dire, considering that even you have been pushed to this point. His communicator had been lost some time prior. Clearly this voice was directly speaking into his mind. But you must return to the battle. Kevin needs your help. It can only be you. Must be you. I can help you move again, just like I did by accident during that mission. However, I need your consent. Kelpus, lend me your body. He can control other people? By God. Consent. Did he really have a choice though? After a moment, the masked man would burst through the earth and slaughter all the Honkai beasts in his path. Yet those who knew him well enough would know that he fought differently from usual. At this time, in the light blue sea of his consciousness, a different, thinner man was directing his every move. Such a vast sea of consciousness. Kelpus, you're a more profound person than most people think. Wait, what is that? A narrow door hovered amidst the windless ocean, and the light that shone through its crevices filled the man with an unknowable fear. He has been suppressing himself all this time? He has a different power that he has never used. Why? Now, this man was not driven by his curiosity by any means, but this power might yet give them a chance of survival. After pondering for a time, he finally opened that door. But how? He's a Hersher. Anyway, we continue here, I guess.
はーい、メイ。待ってたわよ。ずっと聞きたかったことがあるの。あなたの使っている武器って、どんな由来があるの？なんだかすごそうだけど。
You already know it's
そんなこと
Keep
ないわ。
domination.
私の故郷では、刀と呼ばれるものよ。ごく普通の武器ね。確か、桜が使っている武器も同じタイプだったと思うけど。もちろんそれは知ってるわよ。私が言いたいのは、あなたみたいな万能で可愛い女の子なら、神の鍵を武器にするべきでしょ？私に合う神の鍵は、知っている限りだとほとんどないわ。それに武器は、戦闘で一番重要な部分ってわけではないもの。それはあなたも同じでしょ？それとも、私との戦いでは、本当の自分の武器を使わなかったの？本当の武器？それって、私の美貌と魅力のことかしら？それには理由があるのよ。メイの言う通り、私に合う神の鍵も少ないの。いえ、ないと言った方が正確ね。しかも、そのほとんどを使ったことがあるから、初めて見るものに対して興味津々になっちゃうの。初めて見る？あなたが見たことのない神の鍵なんて存在するの？もちろんよ。神の鍵は同時に作られたわけではないし、私たちの時代が終わるまで登場しなかったものもあるはずよ。多分だけどね。あ、そうだ。そういえば、あなたに合う神の鍵だけど、私の美的感覚からして、まだ一つだけ選択肢があるわよ。
Kia devastation, yeah. Is it devastation or domination? Anyway, whatever. From the beginning. I gotta read all this shit. Taking back my badge? Why? Asked a woman addressed as Doctor. She was standing before a restraint chair with her long light green hair casually tied at the back. In the restraint chair was a moth soldier. He looked pale and not well. Many patients like this one were admitted here recently. Doctor was about to find their common traits. and it displeased her to be interrupted by such a trivial matter. Besides, do you have to wear a gas mask? Which division are you from? You're a rookie? Behind her, the uninvited staff member was fully protected without an inch of skin exposed. It looked funny, but anyone who had paid a visit here knew stepping into the lab alone took huge courage. There's been a change to the badge policy and all numbered badges need to be recycled. From now on, the badges won't carry any numbers. As for the mask, safety goes first, Doctor. Doctor sized up the stranger, but couldn't tell anything wrong. Fine. She didn't ask it more questions. She walked to her desk and searched through one drawer after another for the badge. After 19 disciplinary notices, she finally got to the badge with the number 1 on the back and handed it over. Thanks for your cooperation, Dr. Mobius. A new badge will arrive within a week. Wait! Before the staff member turned around, Doctor stopped her. Don't take me for a fool. I'm not sure what you mean. I know you all try to keep things from me. You come up with all the excuses in the world to keep me in the lab. I don't have to necessarily see something to know it. The second Honkai eruption. How is it now? Oh, so you meant to ask about this? Things are not looking good. But it's only temporary. Huh? As far as I know, an adorable and powerful girl has joined the Moths as a fighter, and I believe she'll be the key to solving the crisis. Adorable and powerful. My god, I easily... Where is she now? I have to think about this. She's applying for her own badge right now. Yes, a unique badge. After all, she has to dress up for her debut mission. Don't worry, she'll be at the front line in no time. I promise. She took Mobius's badge. So she debuted as a soldier. She went to the front line with Mobius's badge. I guess we keep going.
いつの間にかメイはずっと私のそばにいるようになったわね。どう？ここが気に入った？それとも他のものが気に入ったのかしら？わかってるはずよね。誰かさんが意図的に何かを隠していなければ、私はとっくにここから出ることができていたわ。
Ah, so that's why they're not telling me the
何
truth.
かしら？最初の言葉しか聞き取れなかったわ。まあ、それを返事ってことにしておくわね。
I don't even remember what the first word is.
もう、そんな顔しないで。ちょっとした仕草や表情を教えてあげましょうか。もっと人気者になるための実用的なコツよ。例えば、言葉の語尾に可愛らしく、よをつけるとか。よ。違う。よじゃないわ。よまあ無理もないわよね。私だって未熟だった頃があるもの。あどけなくてシャイな少女時代っていつになっても苦い思い出よね。え？あなたにもそんな時があったの？
Oh, yeah, she's always pink.
そうね。髪を短くして小さな女の子みたいな格好をしていた時期もあったわね。でもその時からみんなに好かれていたわ。そう言われるとなかったかもね。仕方ないわ。私ってこんなに好かれているんだもの。けどあなたのおかげで気づいたことがあるわ。私がここで手に入れた情報の中にあなたの過去に関するものがないってことに。エリシア、あなたはどうやって火を追うがに入ったの？その前は何をしていたの？もう急にそんな大胆な質問してくるなんて私まで顔が赤くなっちゃうわ。メイがもう一歩踏み込もうと焦る気持ちはわかるけど、乙女の心はとてもデリケートでか弱いの。焦らずに 大切に扱わなきゃダメよ。つまり私の質問には答える気がないってこと？私がそんな人に見える？見えるわ。大正解。私がメイの頼みを断るわけないでしょ。ただ一朝一夕ではできないこともあるの。時間をかけてお互いのことをしていきましょうね。
Damn it. I didn't even know why I bothered talking to you. Keeps dodging the damn question. Miss Pink Spy. Dr. Mobius wants a self-portrayal of me as a gift. And now... But isn't she in a seminar? Beats me, it's Mobius after all. Only a handful can understand her wild ideas, right? Yeah, that's how you know it's Elysia, because it has this fucking symbol in the end. But... Fine, I'll go now. After a moment of hesitation, Klein stopped the report and left the lab. Mobius had thrown no small number of such strange requests at her, and she had gotten used to it. Only this time... I'm sure sweet Mobius will love this present. Left alone in the lab, the girl walked to Mobius's lab workstation. After all, it's a lie with goodwill to bring them closer together. Them? Mobius and Klein. She playing matchmaker. Alright, now is the time to satisfy my burning curiosity. Elysia tapped at the bench with her fingers and looked up to the password box on the screen. Let me guess. Sweet Mobius, what your password is. I'll try Elysia first. Wrong? That broke my heart. Alright, maybe Mobius? Wrong again. No way. How about Klein? Still no? Can't be May, can it? Ah, great, it's not. She pursed her lips and sent herself rotating in Mobius's chair. She then noticed the eccentric colored painting on the ceiling. Clearly a personal preference of the lab owner. The generous cyan color reminded her of roaring waves and a violent sea, and the large and small black dots were fish roaming within. Her eyes moved to the walls where all sorts of plant and animal samples were hung. Some she had seen, and some she had not. Something seemed to come to her mind. A rough idea was formed in her head, from the sea to the land and from cells to life. Mobius. It's humans. She knew what the password was. Password confirmed. Ah, I'm so smart. Her voice was filled with joy. I love everyone, and of course we know each other, how each other thinks. Let me see. Search record. Oh, found it. Her big eyes reflected the large paragraphs on the screen. She touched her chin and her smile became mysterious. Ah, sweet Mobius. Of course you're investigating me. Enthusiastic to everyone, purpose unknown, caution required. Huh? How can you say this? I'm always sincere. Lost to Kevin, but from her later performances she seemed to be holding herself back. Oh no, I'm not. No match for Kevin, really. At least for now. Adjust her leg ring position based on the day of the week. Oh, I'm so glad she knows this. Changes her hairstyle slightly every day, possibly based on her mood. You got it wrong. Actually changes according to the weather of the day. I'll put a note here. Talks in a seductive way can be taken for reference. Maybe this is why more people are willing to take her experiments recently. Shall I ask you for tuition fees? Never mind. You're my bestie after all. Claim to have taken a metamorph surgery after Kevin and before me. Have memories to support this, but no relevant details can be found on the records. Suspicion remains. Apparently she went through the metamorph, but maybe she never went through the metamorph. Maybe she was always like this. What's this? Looks different from any other file. Oh, it's really something. Before she could turn to the second page, she was interrupted by a familiar cough sound. She looked to the door wearing her iconic naughty smile. Hi, sweet Mobius, you're back. I happen to have a question for you about something called Project Stigma. The Stigmatas. So tell us where it came from. Hoo-yah! Oh, there we go. Oh yeah.
これはあなたのものなんでしょ？
May reached down her hand and revealed a shimmering cufflink.
ケビン、ここは認知の空間よ。あなたとこれのつながりは隠せないわ。
どこでそれを？
他のものを手に入れた時と同じよ。そろそろ腕が疲れてきたわ。これはあなたに返すわね。
How heavy is
君
that
が持ってる
cufflink?
といい。
本気？これがここに現れたということは、あなたにとって記憶に残しておきたいほど大事なもののはずよ。これはカフスボタンみたいだけど、誰かからの贈り物かしら？それとも、もともと特別なもの？
確かに僕は隠し事などしないと言ったが、そこにプライベートは含まれていないはずだ。このことに時間を費やしたくない。そういったことは本物の僕に聞くべきだ。
Maybe he'd be interested. Definitely
彼なら
not.
興味を持つかもしれない。
それはないわ、ケビン。私から見て、彼は氷みたいな人よ。執念や沈黙が彼の骨には刻ま
He's
れてる
even
みたい。
colder than you.
今彼の記憶体を作り直したとしたら、このカフスボタンがこの空間に現れるかどうかさえ怪しいわ。
なら彼は僕と何の違いもないはずだ。
どうしてあなたは自分の話をしようとしないの？あなたに一体何があったの？
Well, because they're trying to be cryptic and avoid the questions. Good dang it. There's one extra level when choosing a signal of deliverance. When the blade of the deliverer signal is active, defeating an enemy reduces ultimate cooldown by 20%, cooldown 10 seconds when a shadow of delivery or deliverance. Yeah, okay. It's good. That's all you need to know. It's good. Just doesn't increase your chances of getting the thing-a-ding, but whatever. A metamorphosis. Look who we have here, Kevin. I assume this is your first visit. The girl put down a test tube and turned to face the uninvited guest. Tell me, busybody, what brings you here today? The frigid air drew closer. The man took 2 steps toward without answering, as usual. Hey, that's close enough. Stand there and don't come any closer. These sophisticated instruments can't withstand your body temperature. Just talk to me from there. I read the accident report, Mobius. I'm like the cover girl of accident reports. Be specific. Servant. You've been hiding things about Mantis. And if I guess correctly, that day May asked me to leave you two alone in the interrogation. Was to discuss such matters. Well, I didn't think you were interested in these matters. The girl narrowed her eyes and eyed the man before her like she would a research specimen. You're already the pinnacle of the human life form, Kevin. How can you be hungry for more power? And since you've guessed correctly, why didn't you go to see May directly? Don't you consider her some kind of omniscient being? I don't want to burden May with more troubles. Though I wasn't there, judging by Hua and Sue's reaction in the report, I think it'd be best for May to step back from this indefinitely. Even the mention of her name smartens you up. But, is this really necessary for you? It might come in handy one day. Better safe than sorry. Fine. If this is what you want, then come with me. To be honest, I'm quite curious about whether the strongest human can be made even stronger. Almost forgot. The locker on your left contains an insulated hazmat suit. Don't enter unless you're wearing one your size. The preparations were almost complete. The girl studied the man lying on the operating table and frowned. Say, Kevin, does this remind you of the time you first became a mantis? I remember I was watching you by the operating table just like now. Oh, May was there as well. She was even more nervous than you. I don't recall the past. Well, of course you don't. You've been living in the past, so there's no point in recalling it. Fine. Let us begin, Kevin. This may take a long time, A pity that anesthetic hardly works on you anymore. You must bear the pain using your sheer willpower. But I promise it'll be worth it. After enduring all the pain and suffering, I assure you that, like me, you'll feel reborn. Apparently, gonna infuse him with the serpent.
ただの偶然かもしれないけど、この古の楽園の中で
Grey
ケビ
serpent?
ン・カスラナという名
Wait,
前を
world serpent.
一度も耳にしたことがないわ。
Oh, shit.
何を言っているのかわからない。
あなたの名前よ、ケビン。ここに来るまでずっとそうだと思ってた。
ケビン
だけど今考
カスラナ
えると真相はそうじゃないみたいね。
僕は知らない。
Kaslana?
僕の名前を呼ぶ後継者に今まで出会ったことがなかった。それにそれが君の旅にとって何の意味があるか僕にはわからない。
あなたが何か隠し事をしてなかったら、その一人。
So what's your last name, Kevin?
そう、友人がいるの。あなたと同じ名字を持ってるから
Shares your family name.
何かつながりがあるんじゃないかと思って。
名字。
Kiana Kaslana?
その言葉に何の意味があるか
I don't know what this
僕に
word
はわ
means.
からない。もしそれが君の言うカスラナであれば、それはあの時代で存在したことがない。
Never used in
名
the
字
old
は
times.
ケビンと同じ一つの記号よ。でも名前よりも血縁や家族の概念を強調する。
Emphasizes family
そして
ties
カ
and
スラナはそういう特別な一族というより唯一無二の血筋を意味するわ。あなたと彼女は同じ名字を持ってるから、その
all
私の
theory.
中である推測が生まれたの。
Let me hear it,
ケ
man.
ビン、あなたは自分自身の子孫をどう思う？もし彼女に会う機会があったら、あなたは彼女にどんな言葉をかけるの？
僕に子孫がいるはずない。ライデン・メイ。だが、その質問の答えだけを知りたいのなら、自分の血筋を気にする必要はない。僕の罪と責任は、僕一人で背負う。
Oh, my
僕が
sins.
伝えることはそれだけだ。
やっぱり何でも一人で背負おうとする、そういう厄介な性格もカスラナの血なのね。
Alright, what's this counter attack? Is anyone still standing? The man walking fast in the passage had to doubt that. He had covered quite a distance, but everyone he saw was in a deep slumber. Everyone's sleeping, huh? Lying on the ground in varying positions, they were all murmuring dream words that cannot be comprehended. Ah, that's why I always say you're now the least romantic man on earth, Kevin. Roaming through one dream after another. How wonderful and romantic. At a future date, one of his partners commented such on this experience, but he himself never viewed the situation in such a romantic light. Those who had fallen were drowned in an everlasting false dream that led them to death, and those who were sober fell victim to another endless nightmare. He fastened his steps. His heart had always remained strong and resolute, but not this moment. May. He shouldn't have been so worried, as she was guarded by his most trusted comrade. But the enemy they were facing with can never be hurt by any blade. Hi, Kevin. A familiar voice dragged him back to reality. At the end of the corridor, the pink-haired girl was leaning against the wall. You're finally back. Alicia, why are you here? How is May? Relax, she's safe in the lab. But I can't say the same for Sakura. Did she fall for the eighth Hersher's trick? It's the eighth Hersher. It's the one where he had to dive in. Yeah. Fortunately, she only fell asleep. Good thing I arrived on time, or what? Anyway, I've taken care of things on this side. Sakura and May are both fine. But Kevin, how are things looking on your side? I've always felt you're the one who'd be most likely trapped in dreams. He fell silent. He thought the same about himself. That's why he returned in a hurry after such a short departure. He had obtained the discipline to resist the corruption and put on shackles that could free him of the nightmares. He had become different. Maybe Alicia. But the Eighth Hersher's mental tricks won't work on me anymore. Time to strike back. Now, Kevin, you know what? That's the most unbearable thing about you. You don't have to carry everything on your shoulders, really. Even if you don't trust Mobius, you can at least try to put a bit more faith in your old pal. Sue? The counterattack has started long ago. Yeah, I heard about that. I read it just before. Oh, it keeps going.
あなたって本当に自分から挨拶する習慣がないみたいね。後継者を手助けすると言ってたけれど、黙っているのがあなたのやり方なのかしら？
ライデン・メイ。軽率な発言は人を岐路に向かわせるだけだ。僕の考えではそれを助けとは言わない。
何でもかんでも話すことが助けになるかどうかは私にもわからないけど。でも、あなたの今の態度は妨害しているようなもの。それだけは間違いないわ。
一体何を聞きたい？
いくつかあるの。あなた以外に答えを出せる人はいないかもしれない。例えば、私たちが遭遇した崩壊。あれは一体何なの？全文明はあらゆる面で私がいる時代よりもはるかに進んでいた。この点に関しては同じ認識のはずよ。
Yeah, what is
私が
Honkai?
思うに、その答えはあなたたちが残した様々な科学技術以上に価値があるわ。
僕たちが答えを知っていれば、メイはきっと確実に勝利できる手段を作り出せただろう。
確かに、それは事実なんでしょうね。ヨルムンガンドにしても現実世界に存在するあなたにしても、成婚計画に対して揺るぎない自信を持ってる。でもそれが疑問でもあるわ。あなたたちの自信は一体どこから湧いてくるの？
その点に関しては何も隠していない。後の時代は別として、今君の目の前にいる僕は全てを知っているわけではない。それ以前に僕たちが束縛を打ち破っていれば、この古の楽園も存在意義がなくなっていただろう。
So they still know nothing. I guess. What's this? Second last recollection? Let's do this in the past. The two of them stood side by side on the silent street. 3 days ago, it was still the most bustling shopping area in the region. Day and night, thousands of people would linger here, enjoying the urban vibe and shopping to their heart's content. And now it was too quiet that even the wind seemed noisy. Thump. The man's fist landed on a signboard and left a deep dent. Don't do this, Kevin. Alicia, they're dead. Look around. These people died and even their bodies are gone. This is all my fault. Kevin, you misunderstood. I just wanted to remind you you'd have to pay for the damage. And don't say that. It's as much your fault as mine. But no one could have known. The sixth Hersher still had human emotions. But these people, what did they do to deserve this? I never knew their lives would end this way because of what I did. It was my hesitation that killed them. Me. Wait. Who's talking? But it was also you who killed the Hersher and ended it. So it is Kevin that said this line. Okay. Kevin, it's alright. You would have ended the same way if I was put in your shoes. I would have had the same doubt and hesitated. I would have made the same choice. It changes nothing. Kevin, the loss of these lives is a responsibility shared by you, me, and the others. I don't want you to forget it. On the contrary, I want you to remember it. Remember this moment, along with your hesitation and weakness. That's you, Kevin. If one day you'd sacrifice the minority for the majority, or the other way around, you won't be the Kevin I've always known. Sacrifice is sacrifice. Something we need to carry on our shoulders. But no more. So Kevin, I hope we can remember this day forever. The weakness, the nameless location, it's the only thing that can remind us of what we're fighting for. Alicia, if you were to choose, would you choose the majority or the minority? Me? Alicia smiled and walked ahead of Kevin, leaving him only her back. Kevin, you should know there's a difference between minority and minority. What? You mean minority and majority? In everyone's hearts, there has to be a minority that's more important than the majority, or even all of it. So, my answer is probably the same as the one you'd give me right now. She turned around to face Kevin and lifted his hand to put it against her forehead. If one day you can simply pull the trigger like this to save the majority, would you do it? /M? Is there some coding error here? And there's a typo here. God damn it, Maho, you'll fix your shit. Minority and minority. Oh, really? You should know there's a difference between minority and minority. What? Oh, shit. I'm gonna go and shove this in. But yeah. Oh, I can't get the last one. Oh, Sakura, I guess. Upgrade.
メイ殿、今の時代にこういう花はまだ存在しておるのか？
In Sakura's hand, May saw a withering sakura blossom spotted with scarlet splashes.
ええ、少し形が違うけれど、これも桜の花よね。昔、自宅の庭に大きな桜の木があったわ。桜が咲く季節になると、お父様と一緒に庭に座って、お茶を飲みながらお花見をしてた。その後、お父様はいなくなって、世話をする人もいなかったからか、あの桜の木はいつの間にか枯れてしまったけど。そう。それは残念じゃ。実はわらわも長いこと、桜の花を目にしておらぬのじゃ。最後に目にしたのは、千号と一緒に任務へ行く途中のことじゃった。あの頃わらわたちは約束の律者に勝ったが、あんな悲惨な勝利を前に、花見する気分にはならなかった。実を言うと、この桜の花もエデンからもらったものじゃ。血に染まった桜。エデンらしくないわ。彼女はどこかで過去のわらわの癖を知ったのやもしれぬ。花にある血はわらわにとって特別な意味があると彼女に言われた。じゃが詳しく聞こうとしたら今度は何も教えてくれなかった。過去の癖、忘れな草のことかしら。その後、それを自分の象徴にすることはあまりないが、わらわがしたことは昔と何の変わりもない。さくら、あなたが毒藥を、いいえ、あなたが火を追う蛾の中で担っていた仕事は私が考えてるものと同じ。わらわに他の選択肢はなかったのじゃ。これはわらわと火を追う蛾、それからメイ博士との取引。そうでなければわらわは守りたい相手を守れぬのじゃ。
Her sister Rin. Seems like she's the only one she cared about. Grants 1 hour, extra level. Here's Setsuna with a Setsuna blade. Sakura Maku signal is active every time Sakura screen is triggered. Damage conversion ratio increased by 10%. Setsuna blade is active. Okay. No savior. 94, 95, 96. Good. Not one missing. After confirming that no one was hurt by the collapse of the building, Sakura heaved a sigh of relief. Exhausted, she let herself fall to the ground from roughly 4 stories up. As she lay there, she saw a small patch of sky, gently illuminated by the sunset's afterglow. Is it saying she fell 4 stories? What? Anyway, the forest had been flattened, the river ran dry, and in the end times only the sky remained beautiful. The faces of children popped into her field of vision briefly, though they had just escaped death. Groups of them were bold and curious enough to come study the girl lying on the ground. However, most of them could only stand there for a few seconds before being yanked away. Sakura sat up, feeling a little uneasy. Looking around, she discovered that she alone was lying in the light of a pale golden sunset, while those she had just rescued were cowering in the shadows of the ruins. Children held tightly in their arms. They looked at the girl with the horror of seeing a Honkai beast. Why? The girl sheathed her blade and walked towards the survivors, in an attempt to point them in the direction of the nearest shelter. When she took the first step, the survivors looked at her suspiciously. When she took the second step, the expression turned to disgust. When she took the third step, hatred showed in their eyes. So she stopped, as their countenance had finally turned to hostility. Why? Mommy, her ears are... The child's mouth was immediately covered. She's a monster. The voice was soft and light, but her ears could pick up the slightest sound. The girl looked at those in front of her, and then at the path that would lead her out of here. It would take no more than 10 steps to reach either. But why did her legs feel so heavy? So heavy that she could go nowhere. That was in the past. To protect humanity and her own pride, the hero who had been alienated now rested beneath the burnt earth without a tombstone of her own. A violet crystalline flower had broken through the soil to bloom innocently by itself in these dead lands. 2 mourners stood there side by side. He was silent as usual. She, uncharacteristically, said nothing. After a long while, their voices could be heard amid the howling wind and sand. Kevin, I recalled something that happened a very long time ago. The 13 of us never did get together in the end. We'll return to this place one day. Maybe tomorrow you and I will lie underneath this ground. So Sakura died, and this is Alicia and Kevin visiting. No. The man pulled out a greatsword that had been thrust into the ground and walked away. Where he had just been standing, his cold urge to kill had left an enduring mark. No matter the cost, humanity shall defeat the Honkai. Yeah, that was in the past. Yeah, Sakura died. Ah, bam.
メイ殿は一体なぜ古の楽園に来たのじゃ？
どうして急にそんなことを聞くのかしら？
ただ汝の顔に懐かしい表情を見たからじゃ。メイ殿、終末前夜の人類がどのような姿をしているのか
想像できるじゃろうか。任務のため、わらわは彼らの中の様々なタイプのものと接したことがある。組織の一掃、悪人の追跡、そういったことは全て経験しておる。それどころか、任務の大半をそれらが占めていた時期すらあった。もう必要がなくなるまで、火を追う側は常に秩序を保っておった。少なくとも、表面上の秩序はな。
それであなたが私の顔に見た懐かしい表情というのは？
まず質問に答えてくれぬか、メイ殿。汝の認識では、終末に直面した普通の人間は、どんな様子を見せると思う？絶望し、不安でいたたまれなくなっていると思うじゃろうか。
常識で考えればそうでしょうね。
だが、実際はそうではないのじゃ。見たところでは人間は、わらわたちが想像しているよりもずっとたくましい。どんなに普通のものであろうと、どんなに弱いものであろうと、絶望的な状況に直面した者たちのほとんどが浮かべていた表情は、決死の覚悟なのじゃ。信じられぬか？未来が絶たれ、絶望し、残酷な運命を前にしても、簡単に屈しようとはしなかった。わらわがそのような表情を初めて見たのは、記憶が確かであれば、保護という名目で孤児を集めておきながら、裏で崩壊体制実験をしている集団を追っていた時じゃ。わらわが影から彼らの拠点を覗いていた時、鋭い顔つきをした子供が、そのような表情を見せながら、配られた食べ物を受け取っておった。生きようとする意志が、実に強かった。その場所が危険だと知っておっても、餓死せぬためにとどまることを選択した。そのような意志から、彼は何があっても生き延びる方法を見つけ出せるはずじゃと信じていた。
What's with the whole you on orphanages?
その後はない。その晩彼の人生は、手術台の上で幕を閉じた。ただの日常的な実験によってな。
それって、今あなたが話していたこととは正反対のように思えるけど。
それこそが、わらわの伝えたいことだからじゃ、メイドの。決死の覚悟は確かに効果的ではあるが、非常に危険なのじゃ。相手が誰なのかは知らぬが、汝もそのような表情を見せておる。だから、やはり気をつけた方がよい。
覚えておくわ。
Rumor, Cocoon. Yes, those members of the Cocoon. They were indeed killed by Kelpis. But things are not what they seem. At the time, there were enough mantises to form an army, thus depriving the Cocoon of their sole reason for existence. Dismissal naturally ensued. Elvin, you don't sound like yourself today. Huh? Fushi, you should know the answer. Take a good look around you. Lights blade out. The two watch darkness retreat from this memory-ridden place on a red sofa. The result was disappointing. They found themselves in nothing more than an ordinary lounge. Admittedly, some photos on the walls will strike a chord with them. Because it's happening now. It's not in the past. Oh, whatever. Reminding them of the time spent here. For some, those memories may even be their only sustenance in this revolting wasteland. But by then, they had all faded and became meaningless remains. Can you remember, Fushi? In the past, this place was crowded every night. Everyone came here to drink, play cards, gossip, doing nothing else. There was where I became the most well-informed member of the Moths. But after this battle against the 11th Tertiary, how many of them will come back alive? What the hell is the 11th Hersher? Hersher Binding. What the hell is... Can you give me a picture or something? There won't be any more rumors, Fushi. There are fewer and fewer things worth talking about. Those who would ask you for rumors are gone too. So, don't ask me about anything of the past. No, this is important, Alvin. The number of soldiers surviving this battle might depend on what you say today. Tell me, Alvin, those who weren't wiped out along with the cocoon, can they be trusted? That infighting involving Kelpis. You were there and you saw it, didn't you, Alvin? Don't deny it. I've read your testimony after that incident. That incident was what truly disbanded the cocoon, right? No, Fushi. That incident did happen after the organization ordered the dissolution of the cocoon. Kelpis wasn't involved at all either, at least not as an executioner. To him, it was probably more akin to a suppression, and the trial that followed was merely an act. You ought to know that basically every member of the cocoon had been imprisoned for a felony once. The missions they carried out were horrible, but they were also an escape for serving sentences. It's no surprise that after the order was issued, the fear of returning to confinement drove the felons to the edge. A few instigated the rest for their own gains, and a terrible riot broke out inside the cocoon. That's why the organization sent Sakura to clean it up. I knew it from the beginning. Trying to unite a bunch of murderers is delusional. Huh? Wait. You just said the cleaner they sent was Sakura? Impossible. Shouldn't it be Kelpis? Well, alright. This really is the last time. Again, this is just a rumor, so you must keep it to yourself. Alvin's eyes instantly lit up. He seemed to revert back to the Alvin he was. The cleanup job was supposedly Sakura's, but shortly before the dissolution happened, she was suddenly diverted to a top-secret mission. You should also remember she hadn't appeared in the base for a long time, right? It is the case. So Fushi, why'd you come to ask me about these things? Why'd you tell me the number of soldiers surviving this battle depends on what I say? Didn't I tell you why already? I just wanted to confirm whether the last cocoon members are trustworthy, that's all. To be honest, I don't want anything to do with them. But it can't be helped. Dr. Mobius, she asked me to release a prisoner for her. Who is it? Maybe someone from Cocoon? Oh. What? So... Oh, what?
エデン、やっぱり少し気になるわ。どうしてこの黄金の庭をメビウスに渡したの？
ああ、メビウス博士。確かに彼女は一部のことに対して少し過激な姿を見せるけど、友よ、誤解しないで。メビウス博士は他の12人の英傑と同じ。人類のために戦う融合戦士なの。彼女はただ本当の考えを口に出すことが苦手で、エリみたいに誰かと慣れ親しむことも好きじゃないだけよ。
当時のあなたは彼女が黄金の庭を何に使うか知ってたの？
もちろん。でも知ることは理解することとは別よ。メビウス博士。彼女の視界と考えはいつもみんなより先を見つめてる。時代そのものの先に行ってることもあった。きっとあの時の彼女はすでに私たちが失敗する結末を読んでたんだと思うわ。そしてあの時の私もただの勘かもしれないけど、自分の運命を多かれ少なかれ意識したと思う。だから私はこの庭をメビウス博士に、というより彼女が口にした未来に託したのよ。私の時代は いつか塵のように消えてなくなるかもしれない。でもこの黄金の庭は永遠にここにある。真相を探しに来た次の時代の人類を待ってるわ。つまりあなたみたいな人をね、メイさん。
I know what they see in her, but I guess she was you know, they had the same goals. I'd like to gift the golden courtyard to you, Mobius. Surprised, the green-haired woman stopped working with her scalpel. She slowly raised her head to glance at her graceful guest standing in the lab doorway. Are you drunk again? Eden half smiled. No. Oh. She bowed her head and stared at the scalpel in her hand as if it was an alien construct. Elysia sent you to pull a prank on me? Mobius? Fine. I'm sorry. She finally put down the scalpel and shifted her gaze back to the woman by the door. What's wrong, Eden? How did this idea occur to you? No, Mobius. It didn't just occur to me, Eden replied. I've been thinking about it since the Herrscher of Corruption incident. Oh, you mean that time? Humanity's losses are immeasurable, and the cost of victory is escalating. I believe anyone aware of the situation will not see it as a victory. You're a scientist, Mobius. You must have foreseen this ahead of me. That victory may no longer exist in this era. I assume this is why you insisted on keeping the memories of the Flame Chasers, Eden added. What are you talking about, Eden? Wasn't that Alicia's idea? She did not answer. She only smiled at the girl by the operating table. Fine. You're right, Eden. I knew long ago that this era could not prevail. Even if there was a possibility, this era is already too broken to qualify as an era. Would you claim a single-armed body to be a human? Eden leaned against the doorframe. She knew what the girl meant, but she never liked her analogies. This is why I want to gift the golden courtyard to you, Mobius. She restated the purpose in coming. Why me? Eden showed a gentle smile. Because I know you need her, my friend. Your researchers and plans cannot continue without the golden courtyard. I feel uneasy about gifting it to the reckless boys. As for Dr. May, you know her health condition. As for Alicia, this is not a job for her. I only hope if the golden courtyard survives the collapse of this era, it's safe in the hands of someone who can give full play to its value. Mobius listened quietly. She felt the woman before her was not her usual self. It felt as if she had decided something and realized something. I know what you mean. What I want to know is, why not yourself, Eden? Why are you giving the golden courtyard to me now? Eden only softened her gaze. Her gaze seemed to tell her dear comrade that she knew the reason all along. Fine, Mobius said at last. I accept your offer, Eden. Thank you, Mobius. I hope it will serve you well. No, thank you, Eden. Eden nodded with a smile before leaving. Mobius might have known the reason all along. She had known it from the moment she operated on Eden. My god, keeping that fucking shit to themselves, aren't they? Just tell me. Just tell me, goddammit.
機嫌が良さそうね。もしアドバイスに耳を貸す気があるのなら、もっと笑顔を見せるといいんじゃないかしら。人間関係の改善に役立つと思うわよ。
試したことはある。だがほとんどのやつは笑い声を聞いて震え上がっていたな。
私が言っているのはもっと健全な笑い方よ。例えば、いえ、やっぱりメビュー、まあいいわ。それより、戦い以外であなたをそこまで上機嫌にさせるものがあったなんてね。
律者、どうやらまだ気づいていないようだな。 お前は確かに他の奴らとは違う。変化。そんなもの、もう久しく目にしていない。お前にそのようなことができるのなら、来い。俺に挑め。あの軟弱極まりない律者たちとお前がどう違うのか見せてみろ。
軟弱極まりないって。律者のことをそんな風に言う人は初めてよ。無知は恐れを知らないって言うけれど、戦後、これまでに律者クラスの敵とは何回戦ってきたの？
はあ、そうか。試してみるがいい。
Kalpis started to count with his fingers. But then he ran out of fingers. Oh, he ran out 10 fingers very soon. Kalpis lowered his head and laid his eyes on his shoe. But he had shoes on. He can't count with his shoes on.
もういいわ、そこまで具体的に数える必要ないわよ。ただ聞いただけだから。
What are you, Ling Ling? Lin Ling? My god, you can't be that bad with numbers. Ah, what the hell is this? Research or report? What do you think, Dr. Mobius? Interesting, so that wasn't an accident. I knew it. Get 2 more mantis in the chamber. No, it's too dangerous, Dr. Mobius. That incident already cost us too many comrades. Now we... Don't be a baby. I'll be responsible for any consequences. That's what you said last time. And the one who ended up being demoted was... Get off my back. Fine, I'll do it myself. Doctor? I don't believe for a second that anyone would inherently possess such unimaginable power. But even I can't find any traces of modification. Who exactly did this? I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find you. Wait, could it be Dr. May, my dear friend? Do you have some secrets they kept from me? Ah, it's all about Kalpis. I don't think Kalpis ever undergone surgery. Medical malpractice. Stop it, Doctor. The surgery will not succeed. It's meaningless to prolong his suffering. It isn't over yet. Keep transfusing blood. I'll assume full responsibility. Did you see the glint in his eyes? Have you seen it under any other circumstances? This is what he wants. I promised him and I'm a woman of my word. But Doctor, even if he could make it, his sanity would be destroyed by you. Have you forgotten what he had done? You're creating a Herschel-level monster. The security here doesn't stand a chance against it. We'll all die. Don't fret. Continue. The man in the shadows spoke, his voice a chilling sleet. An outlandish greatsword rested on his lap. Only one will die today. Dr. Mobius, perhaps you've perceived the glint in his eyes wrongly. But it's too late. Well, it's obviously the other guy. Poor dude. Alright, let's shove it in.
来訪者、君の心に迷いがあるようだね。
I might end it after this.
言ってみてごらん。
Elysium Realm
あな
took
た
us
と
way too
ケ
long.
ビンは窮地の
And that
中。
started way too late.
そうよね。火を追うがに入る前から互いに知っていたんでしょ？
彼は僕の親友だ。ずっと。
あなたたちの過去を見せてもらったわ。
君のおかげで彼の未来を知ることができた。
今でも彼はあなたの知る彼と同じだと思ってるの。
Are you
ケビン
even
の
the
選
old
択が
suit?
正しいかどうか、それは後世の者が決めるだろう。たとえ時が移り変わっても、人の心には消えない、変わらない何かがあると、僕は信じている。
それも各社としての答え。
From
こ
the
れは
awakened one.
スーとしての答えさ。
Answer from Sue. Is Sue nicknamed the awakened one? Whatever the hell that means. What's the plan? Project Stigma? It was likely the tone of surprise in his voice that drew Dr. May's attention from behind the screen. The dim light reflected in her glasses rendered her expression unreadable. Yes, we must prepare for the worst before our decisive battle with the final Herrscher. If we lose, we retreat to the shelters until the next civilization sprouts. Every pioneer will take charge of a different project to exhaust all possibilities. This is the last resistance our civilization can manage. Could this Project Stigma be... Yes, it's the project I'm assigning to you. It agrees with your research field, so I believe you're the best candidate. But according to its forecasts, we will sacrifice far more people than we can save. I know, Sue. This is the worst kind of project, so it's strictly a last resort. I know your conscience as a doctor disapproves of this project. Forcing you to execute it is essentially torturing you. He shook his head and let out a sigh. There was a brief silence, followed by the crinkling of the papers. I understand. I'll do it. After all, we have no other choice. Sacrifice the last of the people so you can actually save the future generations. Project Stigma. What did they use? Serpent Master's memory. Well, I got a bunch of shit from Diverging Paths. Maybe I'll put them in combat. How about that? Oh, and I'm out. Let's go with fire. There we go. I thought I would have gotten a lot more than that, but whatever. Sim battle. Tana Tooth. What the fuck? Tana Tooth. No, I guess I did good. Fuhua. I think she's takes a lot of physical damage or something. What? Did she bleed to death or something? Is this even a boss battle? What the fuck is this? Well, it took too long to actually get the ultimate out.
どの戦闘も全力で戦います。
It's pretty dang cool. Oh well, I did it anyway, so contributions. Yeah, this shit can wait. Well, I guess I'll catch you guys next time. That was a lot of shit. And hopefully next time I can actually start a bit earlier, so I can get through more shit. So I can get to Elysium Everlasting, back there again, and get those coins. Well, peach.